Kirsten Evans is Executive Director of In Defense of Christians. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This report, as we just saw, contains some of the atrocities that were committed, 125 churches that were bombed, 1,100 people who were killed. You have the genocide designation.
Yes.
What does it mean for these people?
It's important, Lauren. It's important because by giving a designation, the United States has united our voice to the international consensus, which is growing and which is mounting. And it's important because as we move forward, both as an international community and in the United States, looking at our Middle East policy and how we're going to deal with the problem of ISIS both now and in the long term, these communities whose genocide have been recognized will not and cannot be forgotten.
The White House would say that these communities have not been forgotten. For example, at the White House today, they said they've taken steps to stop ISIS. They've put 10,000 airstrikes so far down, that they have pushed them back in both Iraq and in Syria. Your response to that?
Well, all of that's very true, right? And we're grateful for that effort. What we're hoping for with the genocide designation goes beyond just a question of military intervention. So with a genocide designation, what we're really looking for is being able to highlight the vulnerability of these communities as we look at questions such as refugee status and asylum, aid delivery. We know most of the Christians who live in the Middle East that are fleeing from ISIS don't live in UN camps, getting aid to those people who are displaced. We're looking for questions of long-term remembrance of their heritage, their cultural rights, their property rights, and ultimately it's a question of creating a safe space or a safe zone by which these communities will be able to maintain and thrive and live in the long term in their own homeland.
Is that even possible, though, without the destruction of ISIS?
Ultimately, is it possible without the destruction of ISIS? No, but there are incremental steps that we can be making. So by highlighting the extreme vulnerability and plight of these minority communities, their situation is put up in a priority as we begin to figure out how to problem solve in the region, and that is very, very important.
Well, thank you, and thank you for the work that both your group and the Knights of Columbus has done.
Thank you, Lauren.